Hello, and I am the extremely partial commentator. Here with my reaction. It's September 18th, 2016. I'm reacting to the Stoke City Crystal Palace game. First of all, for those of you who tried to watch the live stream, if anybody did, it was a complete mess. An absolute mess. I couldn't get connected to the live stream for the first half of the game, and I got so excited when I could connect for the second half of the game, I never checked my sound and did about 50 minutes of silent commentary. So that's my contribution to the YouTube community today. So I'm really sorry. Don't know why the mic wasn't working. Still was having issues with it. Just fixed it a minute ago, and it just suddenly started registering. So sorry about the silent commentary. Hopefully next week I'll be able to work out all the bugs. Still new to the live streaming thing, having trouble figuring out exactly how to make everything work smoothly. So I'll continue working on that. I'm really disappointed because I had some really good zingers today. I had some good ones making fun of Stoke. Why would I make fun of Stoke? Because they lost 4-1 to an Alan Pardew's Crystal Palace team. So let's get to the game. So sorry about that if you tried to watch the commentary. I'll try and fix that out. Commentary was better, more lively. You have no idea of knowing that because you couldn't hear it, but I think it was better than last week. Hopefully next week I can have good commentary plus, working commentary where I'm actually there for the whole game and I'm not muted or silent or my mic is registering or whatever. So let's get to the game. Stoke lost. They gave up 2 goals in the first 12 minutes. Gave up 2 goals in the second half, and Marko Arnautovic did score a consolation. It was the last kick of the game. It was meaningless, and I couldn't even really get excited about it. It was a good shot, a nice finish. That's about the best you're going to hear if you're a Stoke fan at this point. It was a horrible game. There's really not much to say about the play. It was crap. It was crap up and down the pitch from the goalie to the striker. Everybody sucked. The only person who I think maybe can get away a little bit out of it is Joe Allen, and I said that in the commentary. He was running around playing pretty hard. He was putting the effort in, trying to make things happen the entire game, which is a lot more that you can say for a lot of the other players. And some of the other players who were trying to make stuff happen just weren't, but Joe Allen is probably the exception today of people who didn't play like total crap. And it's hard because not a whole lot has changed. There's no new situations. It's the same problem. Individuals are underperforming. There's no team cohesion. There's no defensive cohesion. It's the same stuff we've seen this season. So I can't really say a whole lot as to the strategy or the personnel or the tactics. Eric Peters got dropped, and Bruno Martins-Indi played left back, and Glenn Johnson came in. I don't know if Mark Hughes thought that would be better for the defense, but it didn't do anything. Didn't make any difference. Except I think Bruno Martins-Indi is good in the center, and I think it actually maybe made us a little weaker. I didn't see any benefit to it. Jeff Cameron's a good center back, but it didn't make any difference. Gianelli and Bula got pulled, and Boyan started. So that's about it. Tactically, not a whole lot different. Bonnie still isolated up front. We don't have Shaqiri back, and he's obviously a good player, but he's not any kind of talisman, and he's not the captain. He's not the kind of player where, if we only had him back. Jack Butland is out, and I'm starting to think he might be that kind of talisman player. We've only won, I think, 1 game since he got injured. Gave up a lot of goals. Our best run of form has been when we had him playing for us. But still, there's worrying signs, and it's worrying times because even with that exception, we're really looking bad. We're looking Aston Villa of last season bad, and I'm nervous at this point. It's one thing to give up 4 goals to a team like Tottenham, who's a very good team, a team like Manchester City, who again is a very good team, but 4-1 to Crystal Palace, and really it should be thought of as a 4-0 draw. 4-0 game, in my opinion. we got that goal. Like I said, it was the last kick of the game when they restarted. The ref blew his whistle right at the death, and so it's meaningless other than it helps our goal differential, our horrendous goal differential. It helps that out a little bit. But it really, this should be looked at as another 4-0 defeat, 4-1 defeat, whatever. It's not good. So tactically, I don't know what needs to change. There needs to be more teamwork. There needs to be more individuals performing. Mark Hughes, I don't know that he knows what to do right now. After the game, I read his post-match reaction, and he kind of just said, yeah, we've got some issues, we got some problems we need to address in some key areas, and we have some individuals who are underperforming, and we need to address all that. We need to go to the board and figure out what's wrong. And I don't think he understands what's not functioning, and I think he knows what's not happening the way it should or what they're not doing right, but I don't think he knows why they're not doing it right. He was just really vague, and so there's a lot of stats you can check him out, but Stoke haven't. I think they've won one game in 14. We haven't had a clean sheet in like 14 or 15 games. I think we've lost a lot of games where we've conceded first. I don't think we've won a game where we conceded first. I can't remember the last time that happened. We cannot fight back after going behind, and we've got to figure that out. We don't have any chutzpah, I brought this up again in the commentary, which you couldn't hear, about last week Watford and West Ham. Watford went down 2 goals, and they scored 4 and 1. They fought back. They found that in them, and we don't have that. We haven't created that, and I don't think the players think that they can create that or make that happen. And the minute we concede, it's the best we can get is a draw, and no one really wants to fight for it. But man, there's a lot of talk about how Stoke started slow last season, but they were like tying games. We tied Tottenham 2-2. We got some points, and the way you looked at Stoke last season was, wow, they're taking forever to win their first game, but it's bound to happen. It's gonna come. Like, they're on the cusp of it multiple times. But this season is different. Middlesbrough was our best game, the first game of the season. 5 games in, we have 1 point. Our goal differential is probably double digits. I'm pretty sure after today it's double digits in the negative. It's bad. It's really bad. And unlike last season where you said, oh, any minute now, any game now, they're going to win it. The way Stoke are playing, I don't have much faith. We play West Brom next week. I don't know. We have a game midweek in the England Football League, former Capital One Cuppity Cup tournament, and it's against Hull City, who's in the Premier League, but they're, newly promoted. Hopefully, I'm really hoping that Stoke can click in that game and start picking things up. That's like best case scenario. Other than that, I don't know when they look like winning a game in the Premier League. Really, at this point, it's very much Aston Villa is haunting my mind. And I don't know how things are going to get resolved, but they're dire. They're really dire. And, the last thing I guess I want to talk about is Mark Hughes and where he stands as a manager. And so there's a few things. Is he going to get replaced? I think the question of replacing him comes up because it's the Premier League and they're obsessed with replacing managers. But I also think that the run of form is so bad where it starts raising those questions. And it's the only thing that can really be done. We can't bring in new players. We have the players we have the staff we have. We don't have time to really, do a 180 and change our tactics and completely change our game. Maybe we need to. We don't have a week or two. We don't have any time to work that system out. We're in the league now. It started for us, So the manager's about the only thing you can change now. So I think that's the other reason that might be getting brought up. Here's the problem I see. I don't know who you bring in, first of all. I don't know who is out there that's available that you could bring in that would be any better. There's tons of, maybe Gary Monk is someone who I've heard. I know I don't think he's been doing that great with Leeds or wherever he's at now, but he probably would fit the style a little bit better of what Stoke are going for, or what Mark Hughes has been trying to make Stoke go for or something, but I don't know who you bring in. to replace Mark Hughes, and he's a big personality at that club right now. I mean, I think a lot of the players we're getting because of Mark Hughes more than because of Stoke City. You know, I think his personality, he's got a lot of connections, and he's got a lot of clout, and he's got a name that people recognize, and players like playing for him. You know, but he's got to adapt, and based on his post-match stuff, it worries me because it doesn't seem like he's figuring out how to adapt or like he has any idea what to do to stem the blood flow. So I don't think we should get rid of him. I don't think he should go. Part of the reason is because I don't know who would replace him, and part of the reason is because I'm not sure that that's what the team needs. I don't think they need him to go and get a new kickstart from a new manager. I think they've got to get their shit together and figure out why they're flapping around like a dead fish and knock it off immediately, because it's getting bad. It's match day 5. If by match, I mean, it's a 38-game season, and 5, 6, 7, 8 games, that adds up. That becomes almost a quarter of your season. And, you know, we were a team, I think, that this year was going in hoping we could maybe fight for like 7th, 6th place and get some European football. Maybe bringing in some new signings like Bonnie, you know, there's a lot of hope and encouragement, but it's rough. It's bad. And today I was pretty brutal. I was not happy with anything that was done by the Potters on the pitch. So next week it's a Saturday game. It's at home against West Brom. We lost to them both times last year. We got a couple of red cards, I think, but we like playing them. It's always a rough game. Tony Poulis bringing his style back, and hopefully that'll kickstart us. Wednesday there's a game going on. I don't really have it available on TV, so I can't commentate, but if I can find it somewhere, we might. So check it out. But Saturday I'll see you, and hopefully Stoke will get some goals. And really the main thing is quit giving away goals. I mean, giving them to people on silver platters. Thanks for watching. Extremely Partial Commentator here. Signing off.